Good day to my brokers, Playbook Nation, from coast to coast, to throughout the U.S., throughout Canada. We're getting a tremendous amount of feedback on what you want to hear. And at this point, I have brought on one of my favorite people, Mr. Chris Keleher, to discuss the importance of coaching, to discuss the importance of the investment that you make in yourself and what kind of impact that can have, forget only your business, but the quality of your life in general when you take people's mistakes and people's championships and make them your own in your own way. And I think that's where we're going to go down today. Chris Keleher is number 15 out of 18,000 plus agents in the country. He is a top producer. He is a team leader. He's brilliant investor as he looks at real estate from a holistic approach for himself as well as his clients to help them build wealth. This is going to be a great conversation. Chris, welcome to Brokers Playbook. It's a pleasure to have you, brother.
It's a pleasure to be here. Very happy I could come down and do this with you in person today. It's great to be back in person, and I'm looking forward to a good conversation about investing in yourself.
There is no masks here today, fellas. Hopefully we're not super spreaders.
Yeah, I did get the invitation to Simeon's mask burning party he's going to have once the weather warms up. I'm excited for that.
That's right. Chris, again, welcome to the show. I want to get right into it. Brokers Playbook audience is truckloads of mortgage brokers and real estate agents, real estate brokers, broker owners, and we the conversations that we have, and I know you've watched quite a few of the shows, but just to kind of reinforce where I want to go with this, coaching is such an integral part of any career. If you want to get better and you do not see the value of observing others and learning from others, it's actually impossible to progress.
Absolutely.
And if you do progress, you're literally doing yourself the biggest disservice because you're going to be banging your head against the wall 10 times more.
Spinning your tires.
Than somebody who just simply will take someone's advice.
Absolutely.
Let's define coaching for the real estate business, for the mortgage business, because it's one and the same. We are a service to the client. So to define what we do for a living, we are a service. We are not the president of the United States of America. We are here to simply complement someone's journey in buying a home, to help them guide the most and biggest transaction of their lives.
Through the providing knowledge, and that's what we can gain through coaching and networking things that we do. So that's the value of it, is you got to sharpen your knowledge delivery to people to help them. They really don't have the experience we have, right?
So to a new person, so let's talk about the different levels.
Okay.
My co-host who couldn't join us today, Miss Laura Martin, she's the chief operating officer of Matrix Global, the mortgage company.
Yeah.
And they're the number one in Canada. They're the biggest.
Okay.
I'm gonna focus just today in real estate because I'm in real estate and I can really resonate. So to all my brothers and sisters in the mortgage community, hang tight. I would say 9 out of the 10 things that come out of our mouths today are going to be relevant and will resonate with you. And for the one piece, shoot me an email. I can put you in touch with Laura anytime. She works with some of the greatest people. We have our year 1 to 3 in the business, our year 3 to 5, 3 to 7, and our 7 years plus.
Yeah.
The same coaching program is not effective in either category.
Absolutely not.
Let's start with years 1 to 3. Where does somebody, what do they think real estate, a new agent, because we've had many, you get your door knocked on 10 times a month by agents who want to join your team.
Yeah.
What does a new agent think the business is about, and what kind of coaching do you feel the new agent needs?
Well, I think they probably need a good shake to get them sorted out to what the expectations are. I can tell you about a new agent that started about 12 years ago, looked just like me.
Okay.
Now that agent at around 35 was going to retire at 40 because his business is easy. You can make quick money. You just got to get some clients and pack it in, right? So that was my vision of it, not realizing just how hard it is.
How true was that?
Oh my gosh. How hard it is to get clients, to keep clients, to differentiate yourself from the tens of thousands of other agents, and how to provide value to be remembered by them. So I didn't realize I spun my tires. Once I got some traction, I stuck to what I thought could differentiate myself. I ran with that. It's always something new. I was lucky that I started when video just began to be used in my area. So I made videos and walkthroughs and stuff. So the 1 to 3 is realizing just how hard this is, just how demanding it is on your time and your emotions.
So it's a reality check.
That's one. First year is a reality check. Year 2 and 3 is you're making it or you're out, or you're getting a second job, right? So I think the biggest thing, and when I do, some of the talks that I do to brokerages and stuff, it's about figuring out who you want to be in this business, how many hours a week you want to work, how much time you want to have off, how much money you want to make. Be honest with yourself. You don't need to have $1 million, right? Maybe you make 150 grand and you see your kids every day and you work 40 hours a week. That could be possible depending on your market.
It's definitely possible.
I think it's just defining what you want. Are you a leader? Are you a manager? Can you have an assistant? Do you need an assistant? Are you good with paperwork? I think it's staying in your zone, your unique ability. What are you good at? What makes you happy? What energizes you? And if that's door knocking, go do it.
So how does one figure that out, Chris? Tell me, because I'm going to speak directly to ongoing coaching.
Yeah.
But you've been a team leader. You've been in this business a decade plus, and you're shooting at the highest level.
Yeah.
So you can give advice. You don't need to be a certified coach to give advice to somebody trying to find themselves. Where does one start? So I'm in the business for a year. What is the question that I need to ask myself to figure out if it is 40 hours a week that I seek or 500K in income? How do I figure out? So because I've had agents, I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
So how does one try to literally break that down?
I think when I talk to those agents, it happens every conversation I have. I think they do know what they want, but they're either afraid to say it because it's too high, or they're afraid to put a limit on how much money they can make, or they're afraid to say it because it's too low. I think people kind of have an idea at the onset. If I make this much money in real estate, that'll be good. But they are worried, will I achieve that, or is that too low? So in saying it to someone like me, I think they're a bit bashful. So I think they do know. And I think it's defining exactly how much money you are going to be satisfied with, exactly how much you want to control your time, how much time do you want to have. And, on my team, we put time first. Time goes ahead of money. Money is a byproduct of hard work.
100%.
Put in the time needed. The returns will come. And if you focus on the money, you're just chasing. It's, we used to call it commission breath. And you're just right. You see dollar signs on people's heads and everything's a deal. When you think about, imagine another profession like a dentist is like, every time he scrapes a tooth, he's like, that was $50. That's You just can't think of it like that. You have to think of it as a profession, like a doctor would. I'm going to go do surgery today. I'm not going to calculate how much each stitch is worth.
I'm telling you, the entire purpose of this podcast when it was born a few years back for fun was to provide value and elevate the business. And it still is and always will be.
Yeah.
I am a very, very firm believer of creating value first.
Yep.
And that's only done through time and hard work.
Absolutely.
So I want everybody to think of what I just said, creating value. Creating value doesn't mean creating value for me. It means creating value for my client. Absolutely. Creating value is what's going to have my client call me back. Creating value is what is memorable.
Yes, we call that an experience. I want them to have a real estate experience.
That's right.
Right.
So not only was it, because it's not always easy and it's not always roses. Sometimes it's anxiety-ridden, competitive,
of course,
and all the things.
Heightened of emotions.
But guiding your client and being intelligent on how you manage their expectations, manage their psychology. How do you layer that on top of a deal? That only can be done with experience.
Yes.
Going back to the agent of 1 to 3 years, if any agent, and I like because you use the word bashful, because it is.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
If any 1 to 3 year agent feels that it's confidence that is going to make them come to my table. So if I'm sitting across on a multiple offer, you've been in the business 1 to 3 years. I've been at it for 15. So if you actually truly in your heart believe that you can beat me, I have no problem with you believing that.
Yeah.
But I can just tell you that you're wrong because you're going to get your ass handed to you within minutes.
Yeah.
And the reason is not because I'm smarter than you, faster than you, better looking than you. It's just that I have lost 400 times for the 3,000 times that I've won.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I was in that position, I got my butt handed to me on hundreds of nights at 11:30 at night while my wife is texting me, where are you? When are you coming home? And all those things. So the sacrifice and the time in can never not be acknowledged. And you as a 1 to 3 year broker has to invest in a coach that can make your journey better.
Yeah. And you'll never replace experience. That's for certain. So the experience is huge. But what the coach can do is help you create a plan. And I think in many businesses, especially in real estate, the key soundbite, I think, is you cannot execute an idea. That's not possible. You can only execute a plan. So executing an idea, if you give an analogy, it would be, for Southern Ontario, let many people drive to Florida. If you just pulled out your driveway and someone said, where are you going? Florida. Which direction? I'm going to go that way. When are you going to get there? I'm not really sure. I'm just going to drive. But the idea is it's going to be great when I get there. And people have an idea of what it is going to be great when they get there, but they don't have a plan. And I think that's really, really important. And that's why coaching was valuable to me, is to figure out what I enjoy. And if you want to figure out what you enjoy, make a list of things you have to do today. And the one you want to do first, that's what you like. If you are like, I can't wait to get to my paperwork, you're a paperwork person. Some people actually like the satisfaction of finishing paperwork, checking that box.
Yes, they do.
If you're like, I can't wait to go to lunch with that person. Other people, and I have realtors on my team that are like, well, that's going to suck my life juice spending all that time. So they know where their energy is coming from and where their energy is being drained. And you can make a list and eventually know, I want to off task these to an assistant or something.
That's right.
By breaking that down. And that's how you figure out
and delegation and assigning people work is also a skill that a coach can help you with.
It's
no
huge.
doubt.
My coaching program, and I actually took a coaching program that wasn't real estate based, called Strategic Coach. It was with a bunch of business owners that have the same problem. One of the things was this feedback loop they taught us. If you're trying to delegate and you're not showing them the exact way to do it, the expectations, and then do a follow-up and a loop back, they're not going to feel it if they've succeeded or not in what they're doing. And you're not sure. And there's always the feeling of, I could do it better and faster than they can. Of course you could. Right. So delegating is a massive skill that I think
it's
we all
also
work
the
on.
expectation that we have on our staff in newbies. In this is jumping to the 3 to 7 years. The guys and gals would just get their first assistant, etc.
Yeah.
Where they do a complete crap job training their assistant and expect them to somehow magically know what to do, as well as not giving them feedback, as well as not reassuring them, and wonder why nobody sticks.
Yeah, and you know what? I think another thing is they expect them to be as skilled as they are,
or as vested,
or as. But the reality is that if you're going to hire an assistant, if they are as skilled as you are, they're probably not applying for that job. And an MBA is not going to apply for your assistant's position, right? And someone of a great experience, so you're actually helping raise them, grow them. You're trying to get the best out of them. And that's part of you as a leader. And that's where people feel like those of us who have assistants or team members that admin that do work for them, it just works. It actually takes a lot of leadership and effort, reassurance, encouragement, finding out what they like, what's energizing them, and making sure they're on track. I think they may if you're not in tune with the feelings of the people that work in your business, things can go off track, pretty big. And
that's emotional intelligence, and that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to a nugget that you said, making a plan. You can't execute an idea, but you can execute on a plan.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the last point I make to that 1 to 3 year in the business agent. And that's business planning. So if first of all, you're trying to find who you are. And then second of all, you're going to put a number on a board. Let's call it $250,000 because you're such a go-getter.
I actually wrote that on my wall in my second year of real estate, and some older agents tapped me and giggled at me. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Look at you. That 250 on the wall, as if.
However, let's say that you're that special one that's going to make it happen. The thing about it is you don't know what it costs to make $250K.
Yep.
And that's something that nobody talks about. I'm not sure why.
Or what you're willing to invest, because it costs different amounts to different people.
100%.
Right.
So I'm going to start with one of my favorite sayings. You've now heard me say this a few times, and this is going to be, as a matter of fact, my words until the end of my career.
Okay.
For anybody who starts in real estate, trying to figure out who you are, because this leads to everything. Your entire journey starts here. When you walk into a room today, there's 10 people. What do those 10 people think of you? You have to be able to answer that question. Do they think I'm a funny guy? Do they think I'm a silly guy? Do they think I'm a workaholic? Do they think I'm a douchebag? Do they think I'm an a-hole?
Yeah.
What do these people think? The minute you can answer that honest to yourself, because if you lie to yourself, you might as well end it now, go back to your office job or wherever it is you came from.
Yep.
But if you're looking to be in the people business, in the service business, in the creating value business, if you don't know what people think of you and how you come across, you cannot begin.
Yeah.
Because you will fail.
Or you'll get caught in a situation you don't like, and you'll blame people for their reactions and stuff.
Which is failure.
Sure.
If you're blaming others and you can't take accountability, you didn't know what people thought of you.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. And you can adjust what people think of you by it's that self-awareness thing. And, that could be a different topic, but it is coaching.
It is the topic. You just said it. You can adjust what people think of you. And in 2022, it is easier than ever with the help of social media.
Yeah.
You can literally, and I'm not saying to be a liar or not be authentic, but you can create a mirage should you want to.
Or you could create the authentic you. I mean, sometimes I believe my persona in my town with my presence may be different when people meet me. They may think I think I'm a hotshot to do this, but then they see I'm down to earth, they see I'm authentic, and that's what
you care.
That's what social media, that's what the community events do for me, is that people get to know me as a person, know my family, and know me beyond just what the image is of the successful real estate agent.
Let's go back, because this is too important.
Okay.
Because I started, how do you find what you like? If you go to your Instagram today, you just started in real estate, so there's no real estate posts. What are your last 20 posts? Is it about cats? Is it about cars? Is it about Kettle One vodka? Is it about
beer? It's beer and kids.
Is it about beer and kids?
Yeah.
If it's about beer and kids, do you not think it's a wise idea that you start rallying events surrounding beer and kids, where a father can bring his son and his daughter, where they can play and he can enjoy a craft brew with his friends?
Absolutely.
And do a tasting?
And, this is a really good point on the coaching. And I know you're starting a coaching thing for the people on your team and such to get them in the right place. But another thing that coaching does, or this networking, whether you have mentors, whatever you do, find them in this business, find mentors, find networks and stuff. But coaching can also reassure you that you're on the right path.
Absolutely.
And that's super valuable. Even hearing you say that without even planning this, I have a 500-person party in my backyard every year, my fall festival. We bring the breweries, we bring the families, the bouncy castles, the face painting, the balloon animals. I actually created, some of my neighbors will say, when's your keg party this year?
That's right.
It's actually a family party with food and stuff like that. But I actually created something where people can come.
And they look forward to it.
They look forward to it, drink in the afternoon, and their kids play, they're taken care of. We have live music. So I actually wrapped up all the things that I like, not on purpose through coaching, but I like that stuff. So I'm like, I want to do this. I would love to go to
I am a host myself, so I throw the spirit of the season every Christmas.
Oh, nice.
And this is an event that draws anywhere between 300 and 600 people. Again, pre-COVID, we're coming out of the weirdest phase. We're finding our way out of the weirdest part of our civilization, of our generation anyways.
Yep.
But this is a 300 to 600 people person event that's a charity to sick kids, that's charity to children's shelter, to women's shelter, excuse me, that we get together and you have literally 500-600 investors in a room shooting the shit, sharing strategies, cheersing to our guidance, which is so
it fills your soul, right?
It fills your soul. Like all your entire year, your 16-hour days are appreciated by your clients who made the time to come from all over Ontario, some of them all over Canada, to be with you one night for a night of celebration and gratefulness and appreciation.
Yeah.
So to the 3 to 5 year agent,
the 3 to 5 year,
if you're not paying attention on how to give back and create reciprocity, create loyalty, create experiences,
yes.
And they come and they remember that they picked up $100 worth of toys and they brought it to your party.
Yeah.
They're going to get a thank you note the next day from you saying, how amazing are you, client, for coming A, to my party. It's my honor, and B, giving and contributing to our community.
Yeah, and with ours, we actually made it no charity involved. We do a lot of charity work and charity events. This is because we don't want people to come and be asked for money and stuff like that. But this is just give back to the community. It's not even just for clients. Our entire community supports us in many things that we do, many events, charities, walkathons, whatever it is. You don't have to be a client to take part in our community event. And I think that's great in terms of giving back. It's a great thing. A Saturday afternoon, your kids come, they have all these great things to do. You have a nice afternoon. And it feels good to give back to the community, which is, I think, what we need to focus on doing. And that 3 to 7 year person, you need to figure out how you're going to give back, how you're going to be involved in the community. And then you need to figure out, are you on the right track? I think that's really important, because I was on the wrong track. When in my 4th year, I realized I need to shift gears.
So now let's talk about that, because I was going to go somewhere else, and that's way too good.
Okay.
So 1 to 3 years, you thought you found yourself. It's year 4.
Yep.
You're probably investing in your business at this point.
Yep.
What made you realize that you were on the wrong track?
I hadn't scaled it out to be able to continue. I grew my business on great marketing and amazing service, but you can only do that. There's a ceiling of complexity where you can only work harder and longer to a certain point,
That's
and
right.
then you need to scale it out.
Yes.
And I got to that point and wasn't sure how I would scale it out. I had tried the assistant, I had tried the business partner. I wasn't sure. And that's where I shifted to the team. I thought if I can gather the right people to provide the exact same service that I would provide, the same level, not just get a couple agents that can't sell real estate themselves, so they need help. Get the top agents to come to my team. Then we could start together providing this amazing service and get more control over our time. So I realized I was working so hard and so many hours and so long that I was just burning out, and I was in the wrong spot in the business, and that wasn't for me.
So you said something, and I want to point it out, because a lot of us feel very guilty for sometimes feeling selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And when you give so much of your day, there's 24 hours in a day, and there's no doubt. I know your production, and I know what it takes to do that production because I have that production.
Yep.
So when you're working 14 and 16-hour days, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week,
Yep.
and you miss your children, you miss your wife, things at home are not as they were when you're working that much, because they're just not.
Or you're with them and you're not present because you're on your phone.
And you're not present because
Yeah.
you're on the phone.
Yep.
You said, I needed to scale because of time, and you feel guilty because you don't want to downgrade your value proposition to your client. You don't want to fail your goals.
Yep.
And these are all internal conflicts, by the way. These are all the thoughts.
These are the conversations.
These are all the conversations
Yep.
in your head when you hop in your truck and you're on your way to pick up signs, and you ask yourself, why in the F am I picking up signs? Why is somebody not picking signs?
Yeah.
That's when you know you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
When you start questioning the very activity you're doing,
The best use of your time.
it was okay to pick up signs 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not okay now.
Yeah.
And that's where the realization, and that's where a coach is going to put you in line.
And that was, it happened to be, a couple mentors I had, and then a Richard Robbins event that got me there, in terms of knowing what I want. Because, I got to trust other people to take care of clients to the level you do. You got to start to trust admin. And, I just realized that I was actually disappointing clients because I didn't have it in me to service that many clients, but I wanted them to have that experience. So I shifted and I put time first, and I was willing to make less money in order to get my time back. I clicked to say, I don't need that much money. I don't need it. I need to make sure that people are pumped and that I'm going to have them coming back to my team every time. And that shift was great for me because my confidence was there. I trusted the people I work with, and I owned my time.
But funny enough, you don't make less money, because when you have to say that to yourself, I'm okay to make less money so I can scale properly and take my time back.
I did for 3 or 4 years, if I'm being honest.
But then you supercharged it.
Yeah, I made less money than the agents on my team probably.
But then you supercharge it, because once your infrastructure is built and you're scaled and you have all the right pros in the right places, now you can only do the high value tasks, the ones that are absolute money earning tasks, the tasks that are the most important value in the relationship with the client at the highest level, with the confidence in your team and with an air that you're not burnt out.
Yeah.
You're not thinking of the signs on the way to see the client.
Not dreading the meeting. You're loving it. And that's what I shifted to. I knew I love that interaction with the clients. I love that spreading knowledge about real estate, teaching about what they should be looking for in a real estate experience. I love those conversations. And then we deliver on it. Right. So that's what I know I enjoy doing. That's what I'm great, in the community. I'm great speaking and going to events and stuff. So I realized I need to do more of that. And my team can do the things that I don't do and that they love doing.
So why don't we escalate the conversation
for 7 years and above?
For 7 years and above, because it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because the toughest years to me are not the 1 to 3. That's you got to figure.
You thought they were the toughest when you're doing them, though.
Correct.
Right.
But the 4 to 7 is by far the hardest, because that's when the real work comes in. That's when, because in 1 to 3, you can tell yourself, I'm working hard because I'm building. You're excited. The 4 to 7, you start getting beat up.
Yeah.
And you're making money and you're spending money and you're too busy to make a proper plan. Again, that's where coaching
too busy
in.
to look at your numbers. So coaching helps you.
Correct.
Take a step back. What's your actual profitability?
Prioritize.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Prioritize who your client is, who's the right target audience.
Yeah.
But I want to escalate the conversation because you talked about community events, community involvement,
Yep.
And really creating a different look, a different image.
Yep.
And it's not creating it to be fake. It's actually the most authentic ever.
Absolutely.
Is when you're actually in a position to give back. And that doesn't mean you're a multimillionaire. That means you're giving back your time to volunteering. You're prioritizing things differently.
Absolutely.
You're going to go to the arena and drop a puck because by doing so, you were able to inspire 4 other kids to commit to a 15-year career by doing all the just myriad of different things that you can do as a community involved agent. If you're in the business for 7 years, it is your duty to get involved in the community that you serve.
As any business owner, whatever business you own in the community,
owner.
You should be getting involved in the community that supports you every day.
So make a note of what he just said. Chris just said I said it's your duty to do so, but I never finished the sentence.
Oh.
But the
Am I
truth
cutting you
is,
off too much?
no, it's actually beautiful. It's actually poetic because that's what I mean. So after 7 years of taking, no matter what you did for it, you owe the people in that community something.
Absolutely.
And you owe the kids in that community to be inspired. You need to be a good example. You cannot be drinking and driving. You need to be championing mothers against drinking and driving. You need to be the guiding light and the example in your community, because if you're going to put your silly face on every lawn and expect that to be received the way you want it to be received, you have a duty to that same community to be the beacon and the light in the other way.
And just make a difference. You know, we found homelessness in our community. We got involved in that. The women's shelter, which we're LP's big at. So we found the things that are meaningful to us, the Georgian Triangle Humane Society, helping the pets and stuff like that. So many things we find, and that feels good to give back. And, you know, there's 2 avenues when you get to that 7+ year. You know, it's giving back to your community. And then it's also, like you were saying, narrow down, do the things you love and stay in that lane. But, you know, as I got to that point, you know, I really tried to figure out what it is that makes me the happiest and what should I be doing. And there's this phrase that from Strategic Coach that rings in my head all the time, that Frank Sinatra does not move pianos, right?
What does that mean?
He doesn't sell tickets. He doesn't usher people down. He doesn't work on the lighting.
He does one thing.
He doesn't move pianos. He plays piano.
He does one thing.
So find the thing you're great at, that you enjoy doing, that you can make an impact and help people with, bring joy, whatever it is, and then surround yourself with the people to help you do that. And that's where I think I went from sort of a rugged individual as an agent to an entrepreneur, where I decided I need to build something that is scalable, that creates great experiences. And I found my way. But, you know, a year 4 or 5 in this business, I thought, how do I get out of this business?
Yeah, because you question everything. You're burnt out. You're tired.
Oh, look how successful he is. It was so fast. He makes so much money on stuff. I don't want to do this. I did not want to do it the way I was doing it. I had to find out. So that 3 to 7 was the pivot. Where am I spending my money? Where am I spending my time? And then the 7+ was the scaling and figuring out where do I want to go now.
Let's take turns in summarizing this. I'm going to take 1 to 3. You take 4 to 7. I'll close off with a little summary of what we discussed for the 7+.
Yep.
1 to 3, you need to find yourself. Think about what people think of you when you walk into a room. It's just that simple. If it's not what you want it to be, you need to change. You need to take steps to improve yourself, to change yourself, to do what you need. You need the world to know who you truly are, and that is who you will truly resonate with to be happy. So as far as your personal brand is concerned, you cannot fake who you are.
Yep.
Find yourself. Make a package that people will like with being your authentic self. Invest in a coach to get some business planning. You want to make $250K a year, kid? No problem. But know that it's going to cost you $150 the first year if that's the number you want to hit.
Yep.
Because it cost me $5,000 to do $250 now because I don't need to spend any money marketing. But know that you get punished in the beginning and you slowly get rewarded as it comes.
Yep.
As your commitment and hard work start doing the heavy lifting for you.
Absolutely. And
4 to 7.
Well, that's where you better have found, that you can't execute an idea. So you got to figure out your plan. And then when you get into that, what is your plan? Frank Sinatra does not move pianos. What are you good at? How do you do more of what you're good at? And how do you, I always say you can't same yourself to different. Don't do something someone else has done in the business. If you want to do it, there's a local guy here, Matt Leonetti, who's been doing it super authentically on Instagram. I think him and a bunch of great guys, they're being themselves. They're getting out there and they're taking that risk. They're being courageous to be themselves. So, you've got that 4 to 7. How do you scale it? Are you where you want to be? Is money more important? Is time more important? Set your standards for what you're going to get.
Get a coach during that period.
Yes.
It is the most integral portion of your career, because you
actually get a new coach, get a different coach at a different level, because you should have had one from 1 to 3.
Love it.
But you need to figure out what's next for you. And I switched out from the Richard Robbins, the Brian Buffini, into my strategic coach, which is I want to learn how to run a business.
That's right.
Figure it out. And through that time, you know what's a great thing about real estate? I might be off course. I know we're trying to wrap this up. But
no, it's fine.
During 1 to 3, take notes of these people, and 4 to 7, take advantage. The greatest thing about real estate, I was a teacher before. So I met teachers. My friends were teachers. Everyone were teachers. You didn't hang out with the parents or anything like that. Real estate, I mean, I met, one of my clients, he presses bumpers for Volkswagen Bugs. He sells big presses, millionaire, right? So we meet people in so many different industries with so many different backgrounds and experience, education, travel. Find the mentors. You meet great people in this business that can sit down and sit across. And, one of my guys at one point, when I really escalated, he said, you got to get out of your own way. You got to stop being afraid to be who you want to be in this business, and stop being shy. And, we're sitting around drinking scotch because he invited me over. He's got to be 20 years older than me. And I remember riding my bike home from his house thinking, I need to make a difference in what I'm doing. I need to make change in what I'm doing. So I think that's huge. Is like you said, coaching is great in that point, but you need to know what type of coaching you're looking for. You got to advance. You got to grow. You got to figure out something else to twist it up. It's like going to the gym. You can't do the same exercise every day.
Nope.
You need to shift what you're doing. And that's the time to make a shift.
And sometimes you just need somebody else to look from the outside in.
Exactly.
So don't be scared. Don't be egotistical. You are definitely, let me say this to every one of you. You are definitely not God's gift to the world. You are not the smartest. You are not the fastest. And let me tell you what I tell myself every single day is I just want to be better. Look at yourself and acknowledge that there's always somebody smarter, better, faster.
And find those people that are better with their experiences.
And make friends with them.
Yes. Even if you have lunch with, a 7-year-old man or woman twice a year, you're going to these little nuggets, the things they say to you, and they're also unapologetic about their advice, right? They will take shots at you where you need it and offer you advice, but you got to be ready to listen. Well,
if you also surround yourself with yes men per se, that's the certain way to fail.
Absolutely.
You need to be challenged. And I'm not saying that you're not smart, that you're not beautiful. On the contrary, I'm the biggest fan of every single person around me. What I'm saying is have that confidence, just don't have arrogance.
Yeah.
Be smart enough to know that there are other ways to do business. If I expected you to do the same thing as I did, nobody can do what you do.
Exactly.
You are you.
Yep.
So I can give you everything that I do. I can guarantee you will get a different result.
100%.
So with that being said, get a different personal opinion. Year 7 passed.
Yes, we're out of the weeds. Finish it up.
It's very simple. You need to give back. You need to give back to your business. You need a coach to tell you how to prioritize your business where you're hitting all the highest value possible.
Yep.
You don't have time for nonsense. You don't have time for the wrong client. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the wrong client.
Yeah.
You should be working only with the people that you empower and empower you. You should be working with only the people who put a smile on your face. And when they see you, they put a smile on their face.
Yeah.
You need to give back to your community and you need to be great.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are, no matter what business sector, commercial, residential, investment, I don't care. Whatever it is you're doing, you need to give back. You need to make a difference and you need to put a path together that makes somebody in year 1 life's easier.
Yep.
That's the show.
That's the show, guys.
Chris, thank you for joining me.
You so
I
much,
appreciate you.
Great.
To our entire audience, I hope that you enjoyed and got some great value out of this. As always, I beg for your feedback. Please shoot us an email at community@brokersplaybook.com if you found value in it, or if you didn't, or if you think we said something wrong. We're going to do it again if you don't tell us. So please bring our faults to our attention. It is part of growth, and that's what I was referring to as far as coaching as well. If you have a moment and you found value, please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're listening to us. Please take a moment, hit the follow, write a comment. It helps us out in getting this message out. We appreciate you. And until next time, see you then.
Thanks for having me. Take care.